Well, news coming in this morning, the GDP figures for the first quarter of 2016 is out. The GDP figures for that first quarter falls by 1.2%. Now, joining us to discuss this further is Lerato Motsa, joining us on the phone line. Good morning to you, Lerato. Just take us through what some of those stats and figures are looking like that was released a short while ago by Statistician General Phali Lehotla.
That the real GDP decreased by 1.2% for the first quarter of 2016, and however, the 1 year-on-year is actually standing at negative 2.0%. Obviously, the contributors on this one being the mining and quarrying industry, transport, storage and communication industry, whilst mining and quarrying fell by 18.1%, and this is due to lower production and platinum group metals and iron ore. And looking on into transport, storage and communication, it fell by 2.7% due to a decline in land transportation. However, other two industries that contracted in the first quarter were agriculture, forestry and fishing at negative 6.5%. Also, electricity, gas and water at negative 2.8%. Now, looking into the expenditure on GDP, the real expenditure there fell by 0.7% in the first quarter of 2016. And moving on to household expenditure, we've seen a decrease by 1.3%, which has been described as the worst decline, with the main source, obviously, there been the decline attributed to spending on transport, and also government expenditure increasing by 1%, exports decreasing though by 7.1%, and this decrease has actually been attributed to lower mineral products, precious metals and transport equipment.
Lerato, could you maybe elaborate a little bit and talk to us as the average person on the street, as the average South African, what does this mean for them? The GDP figure now falling for the first quarter of 2016 by 1.2%. You said year on year it was at negative 2.0%. What does that mean for the average South African?
It's actually not looking good for us, especially those figures on the household expenditure. However, I must indicate that the Statistician General, when asked as to whether does it really mean that we are heading into a recession, he says that he won't be able to say this now, because remember now we're comparing this from the fourth quarter of 2015 into the second quarter.
Just lastly, Lerato, will these figures and stats have any impact on Fitch's decision expected a little bit later today? And do we have any further details with regards to that decision?
Yes, this will likely have an impact as to what's likely to come out, especially given that we've seen a decrease, So in terms of whether we're heading into a recession or not, that's another question that will be asked by these rating agencies. As to when will that decision be made, it's still unclear.
Well, thank you very much, Lerato, for the update. We'll check in with you throughout the day as that decision is set to be made today.